to show you have sorrow. You may be here today, gone tomorrow.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Cory and Friends, Season 1, Episode 2. Welcome back. Appreciate you checking us out on SoundCloud and also YouTube. Google us, FS Great House. FSGREAT House. SoundCloud.com/Cord Podcast for your downloads. Got a big show today. We got Cory, we got Ronnie, we got Billy, we got Tony. Lots going on. Entertainment, sports, culture. Late August 2015. Bringing it to you hot. Bringing it to you heavy. We got a lot to hit today. We're going to get right into it. First up, we got Cory with the NFC East.
This is an alert from Central Dispatch. Major disturbance reported.
It's the greatest show of all time.
NFC East.
Week 1 of the preseason is in the books. Hey guys, this is Cory with your NFC East update. I'm going to start with the Redskins. They took on the Cleveland Browns. Final score there, Washington 20, Cleveland 17. Alfred Morris led the backfield with 8 carries for 42 yards. Again, he looks impressive coming out of camp. Andre Roberts had 4 receptions for 71 yards. And Rashad Ross behind him, 5 receptions, 68 yards. RG3 looked up and down this week. He did have a pass to Pierre Garçon that was dropped, so we add those to his stats. And he would have had a pretty good week 1 in the preseason. Kirk Cousins ended the day 12 for 14 with 154 yards. The Redskins did lose tight end Niles Paul, a dislocated ankle, and running back Silas Redd has a sprained knee, so he'll miss some time as well. The defense allowed 170 total yards, so not a bad day for them. They will take on the Detroit Lions Thursday night, 7:30 at FedEx Field.
How'd the Eagles look against the Colts?
Demolished them 36-10. Matt Barkley was the main guy behind center there, 12 for 20, 192 yards and an interception. Mark Sanchez didn't have a great day, 2 for 7, 52 yards, but he did have a TD to Nelson Aguilar. We mentioned him last week. He ended the day with 3 receptions, 57 yards and a TD. Kenyon Barner in the backfield had an impressive day, 6 carries, 29 yards with a touchdown. Going back to the receivers, Jordan Matthews, we mentioned him last week as well, 2 receptions for 44 yards. So a pretty good day there. The offense had 412 yards total, and the defense only allowed 281 yards this week. So it was a stout defensive game. The outside linebacker, Marcus Smith, the rookie from last year, did have a tackle and was great in coverage. Eagles escape injury-free this week. They will take on Baltimore Saturday night at 7 p.m.
Giants loaded offensively. How do they look defensively?
Defense was nowhere to be found on the starting defense. Andy Dalton shredded them 3 for 3, 31 yards and a touchdown, pretty easy. Eli Manning had a vanilla day, as we spoke about. 4 for 8, 22 yards and no touchdowns. He was under pressure all day, did not look sharp. But, again, this is preseason. A lot of the main guys didn't suit up. The offense there had 224 yards, but the defense gave up 432 yards on the day. Stay in New York next Saturday, 7:30. Take on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Cowboys, a lot of starters didn't play. How are the backups shaping up?
Dallas had 17 people that did not dress out this week, 10 of those being starters. Dallas falls to San Diego 17-7. Brendan Whedon, second-string quarterback there, did not have a good day with his fumble for 40 yards, recovered by San Diego for an easy touchdown. Otherwise, he was solid, 4 for 5, 42 yards, no touchdown. Dustin Vaughn came in. Main guy back there for Dallas, 12 for 18, 106 yards and no touchdowns. Big story there. Gus Johnson had a okay day, 13 carries, 35 yards and a touchdown. He's going to be out maybe the entire year, separated AC joint in his shoulder. Offense in Dallas produced 238 yards, only giving up 199 yards on the defensive side of the ball. 135 yards of that came from the rushing side on San Diego. Byron Jones collided with Morris Claiborne in practice on Sunday. He had 5 tackles on the day against San Diego. Not sure how much time he's going to miss, but they will travel to San Francisco Sunday night at 7 p.m. Again, this is preseason, so not a whole lot to talk about. We'll be back with you next week to update you with all the NFC East action.
Thank you, Cory. Beautiful job on the NFC East. Greatly appreciate it. Catch him week in and week out. And next up, we got Ronnie with the AFC South and the West coming up here. We'll be back in 10 seconds. You're listening to Cory and Friends, Season 1, Episode 2. We'll see you in a second, man.
I know that you were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
You know, if it wasn't 7:30 in the morning, I would have a drink.
AFC South.
All right. Hey, y'all, this is Ronnie Gay checking in with y'all on the AFC South and AFC West. We're going to run through with some scores and wins and losses on these teams. It's really the first week of preseason. We'll have more stats for you in week 2 and 3 coming up because we're really just watching backups right now. So starting off in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota, 2 turnovers, turns the game over to the Atlanta Falcons, who run away with the win. The Colts, who lose very badly to the Tim Tebow era, Tim Tebow and Philadelphia Eagles. Houston Texans win big over the 49ers, and the Jags get to a 23-21 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
AFC West.
We're going to go ahead and start with the Raiders. Get a big win against the Rams, but the big story that comes out of there is that the Ram players didn't like the way the fans were booing them and stuff, even though they won. So the Rams players put up a dry erase board that said 52-0 when they beat them last year in November on the 13th, 52-0. Chargers, they win at home against the Cowgirls, 17-7. Brendan Oliver outshined Melvin Gordon in the first game. But like we said, it's the first week of preseason. The Denver Broncos won a close one against your host, the Cord, Seattle Seahawks. It was a pretty good game both ways on both sides of the ball. I really like that game. Can't wait to see what they do next week. And then you got the best team in the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to go off with it like this. Chase Daniels blew 17 of 21, 189 yards, 3 touchdowns. Charkandrick West and Darren Reeves had to step in for Niles Davis because he took a knee sprain in the second drive of the game. They both combined for 18 rushes, 89 yards, 3 receptions and 43 yards and a touchdown. All right. Freddie Williams and Frankie Hammond both combined for 8 receptions, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jeremy Maclin looked good on his debut, 1 reception, 12 yards. Eric Berry stole the show saying that he was just extra amped just to play this game and to get back on the field. Him and his mother shared a special moment before the game, very special knowing that he just came back from Hodgkin's lymphoma 8 months ago to get back in pads to get on the field. It's a good blessing to see him out there, and we hope to see him on the regular season too.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. Check Ronnie out week in and week out on Cory and Friends, covering the AFC and beyond. Season 1, Episode 2 here. Next up, we got Billy with the MLB and also some gambling advice for you. Be back in 10 seconds.
This will not look good on a resume!
Major League Baseball.
This is Billy McGurr checking in. Hit me up on Twitter at TheRealBill704. First off, with October baseball approaching in full effect, it's definitely an exciting time of year for baseball. Thursday, all 15 MLB home teams came away with W's. That's the first time in MLB history every home team has come through with a win. As I was talking about last week, the Blue Jays definitely the hottest team right now. They won 11 in a row, definitely on fire. Now maybe people will open their eyes and see what I was talking about when I meant that maybe spending a little bit of money and acquiring already known to be skilled players with some talent can actually be a key asset to the game. Maybe going along with the big 3 or big 4 mentality like the NBA uses, maybe buy rings, kind of like the Yankees. The Jays did, however, finally lose to the Yankees to end their streak. They lost 2 out of their 3, I believe, in the series. They didn't end up with the sweep.
I'm tired of people wearing those NY hats that have never been in the area. What's the deal with the Yankees?
Tanaka became the first Yankee pitcher to throw a complete 9-inning game since Andy Pettit in 1992. They currently, I believe, have a streak of winning 4 out of their last 5. They lost today.
What is going on with my Mariners, man?
They recently lost 22-10 to the Boston Red Sox, who are doing horrible this year, especially with my man Felix on the bump. The Mariners hold a soft spot in my heart and are always my sleeper team every year. I miss the days of Griffey Jr., A-Rod before the Juice, Ichiro, Randy the Unit Johnson, and now Felix, my usual super dominant pitcher, seems to be slumping. I don't know what's going on there.
So now I know you've been having a lot of success with DraftKings. Your predictions have been fantastic. Now, can you give me some football fantasy must-haves or any other advice you got coming up on this new season?
Some big names that I'd like to talk about with that. Demaryius Thomas, after leading the NFL in red zone looks in 2014, and with Julius Thomas and his 17 red zone touchdowns over the past 2 seasons gone, I could definitely see Demaryius hitting pay dirt probably 15 to 16 times. He'd be a good pick. You got the Gronk. He's just about a touchdown per game. If he plays all 16 contests, and that's a big if with his injuries. But other than that, his floor is probably about 13. Des Bryant, he's averaged 13.7 touchdowns over his past 3 seasons, and Dallas should throw it more often in 15 with Murray and his 393 carries off to Philly. You got Marshawn Lynch. Jimmy Graham could steal a few TDs, but beast mode should still be good for 12 to 13. Eddie Lacy has crossed the goal line 24 times in 2 years. He's tied to an unfair offense, if you look at it that way. Adrian Peterson, he's another big name that I've been looking into. Between 2007 and 2013, he averaged 13 touchdowns per season. This year, he's angrier than ever. I'm projecting he may possibly just straight up own the end zone. That's some key players to look into. Like I said, hit me up on Twitter at TheRealBill704. Give me some pointers. Give me some suggestions of what you guys think, and I'll be on the lookout for more with that. Curious enough as I was looking into it, and the Panthers are second to just the Cowboys in having the best odds to win their division, meaning I'm guessing last season they had pretty much the easiest route. Pretty dope, though, with the current odds. You could bet 5 on the Panthers to win the division, and it pays double your money. And then the odds for Super Bowl, that's just kind of outrageous. But, hell, you could throw 5 just on the Panthers to pay out $225. Their odds are plus 4,500.
Thanks a lot to Bad Boy Bill. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. A lot more to do up next. Live in the Pacific Northwest, we got our main man, Tony, going to report on the AFC North, mainly the Steelers. We see where the alliances lie. Still a lot more to do here on Cord and Friends. Season 1, Episode 2. We'll be back in 10 seconds.
AFC East.
So what the hell is going on in New York? Geno Smith knocked fucking damn near unconscious by a teammate, has to get his jaw reconstructed. Who is running the locker room in New York, man? You got to talk to him about it. What the hell is going on? You know, you can't let your franchise quarterback be knocked out of the damn season, half the damn year, because somebody in the locker room, he owes somebody in the locker room $600. You know, that is ridiculous. What is going on? And the Patriots, not sure if you got to take a look at their backup Garoppolo. Not a lot going on there. They better hope they can get that Deflategate shit out of people's minds and off the tables. Dolphins look as anticipated. Sue making an impact immediately. I had big eyes here on Buffalo. I got to tell you, I am worried about Buffalo's defense. Mario Williams set to make a huge impact this year. Look for Buffalo to put up some staggering numbers here defensively and shock a lot of people. AFC East looking like a fun division to watch this year.
NFC South.
Now, I tried to warn everybody that Atlanta is going to learn how to play defense this year, having our old defensive coordinator, Quinn, on the helm over there. Look for them to take a huge step in the right direction defensively. Carolina, you know, I have a profound respect for Benjamin. Top-tier wideout here. He took a shot to the back. His whole skeletal structure bowed. He jumped right back up, spun the ball in the defender's face, drew a personal conduct penalty, but hell, you gotta like that. You know, gave it all he had. I mean, that defensive back hit him with everything he had. I mean, it looked like Benjamin should have been hurt, and Benjamin popped right back up. Look for him to put up big numbers for your fantasy crew. The Saints. Oh, man. You know, I got a buddy down there, and she talks a lot of shit. But I really can't see the Saints doing anything. Defensively, just in total limbo. Might be Ryan's last year down there trying to keep that defense together. Not looking tasty. Off to a bad start here. Tampa. Finally, Jameis Winston kind of comes back to earth here. Started the game pretty rough. Preseason week 1. You know, but I think a lot of people forget that rookie quarterback succeeding early is an anomaly. It's not, it's not going to be a normal thing. I mean, you look at Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Favre for years, learning the system. Yeah, you had Andrew Luck and RG3. You had that one good rookie year. But for the most part, it takes time to learn a system. And I think you saw that both with Mariota and also, obviously, with Winston in the first week of preseason, is them kind of come back to earth and say, okay, everybody is as fast as I am all of a sudden. You're not just going to roll people over like you were at the college level. It's going to be interesting to see how that whole thing pans out. But there's your South.
NFC West.
The hot spot, the NFC West. AZ. Vegas likes them. I don't. Carson Palmer is getting up there. Hadn't really seen too much. Had a lot of respect for the coaching staff in Arizona. Interesting that they brought in the first female coach in the league, coaching the linebackers. And the game the other night actually had the first NFL ref female and also the first NFL female coach. So that was a groundbreaking moment for the Arizona Cardinals. Turning point in history. Be on the right side of history. San Francisco, oh boy. Look out for Navarre Bowman. If you're in a fantasy football league with defensive linebackers that you need personally, I would get my money on Bowman quickly. Stock's rising. Look for a lot of interceptions this year from Bowman. Healthy finally. And back with a vengeance. Rams. Watch out for the Rams. My sleeper pick for the year. You know that. I'm going to sing that this whole preseason. Letting you know so that way it's not a shock to anybody when these guys win some games, no doubt. Last but not least, my Hawks. Offensive line struggled for sure. We had defensive line and linebacker start. The entire secondary had the day off. That game we had against Denver was interesting. Obviously, Manning didn't play at all, but Brock Osweiler really impressed the hell out of me. 6'7". Look for him to be the future in Denver. Quick release. Oh, man. Denver looks like they're going to be okay for some time moving forward, even after the Manning era is over.
NFC North.
In Minnesota, Adrian Peterson recently limped off the field during a practice. It's going to be interesting to see how fast he can get back to football shape, if ever again. Minnesota Vikings fans holding their breath for sure on that. Bridgewater showing signs of improvement. This is their second game, obviously, this weekend that passed. So they'll have an extra week to recover before the start of the season. Might be an advantage for them. Green Bay Packers, obviously, Aaron Rodgers looking wonderful. I mean, you just have to respect the guy. Not a big fan of his cocky on the field persona. People have this kind of this all-American, clean-cut version of what they think Aaron Rodgers is as a person. But inside sources tell me he is not what he appears to be. Very cocky on the field, talks a lot of shit. Hey, I got no problem with it, but not as squeaky clean as he appears to be on his cute little television ads. Look more for that. Detroit Lions, Golden Tate continuing to do what I told you he was going to do, make catches. You can't double him and Calvin Johnson. Look for the Lions to put up huge numbers offensively here. Golden Tate is a must-have in your fantasy football league, no doubt about it. And finally, Chicago. Going to be interesting to see what John Fox can do in Chicago. Successful coach in Carolina, successful coach in Denver. Now in Hallis Hall, we will see how that goes. I said it last week, and I still stick by it. This might be Cutler's final chance. Who has gotten more chances than Cutler? It's trending on Twitter, I'm sure. If it's not yet, it's going to be. Look for the Chicago Bears to rely heavily on Jared Allen from a defensive standpoint, and we will see how that goes. But brutal division having to face Detroit, Green Bay, and an improving Minnesota team. Chicago looks like they're in a rock and a hard place, but we shall see how it turns out, and that is your North.
AFC North.
Hello, football fans. This is Tony Zamboni with your AFC North report. The Hall of Fame game kicked off our 2016 season in Canton, Ohio. Pittsburgh Steelers set the three the hard way on offense and added new additions on defense. Once again, the defense is setting the tone early with their great linebacker play. The defensive backs showed their youth by blowing plays. Most of the game was smooth city, but I'm optimistic about the defense. So we will see what the rest of the AFC does this weekend, and we will come back with another report next week.